Hi there. Ta-da! It is a 2 video day. Woohoo! Now actually, video number 2 today is I have to get a job done. Thought I'd bring you along in case there's someone out there who has never made one of these. I can't find my clear tear edge ruler, and I'm worried that it got chucked either into the trash or into my recycle box. So hopefully it was the trash, because it's not recyclable. It's plastic. And I don't think it's the recyclable plastic. So I need to make a new one. And I thought I'll do it on screen so that you can see. And that way you can give it a try yourself if you haven't done it before. Then maybe it won't be as nerve-wracking, and you'll see that it's actually easy as pie. Now I do have a tear edge ruler, and I do use it. This one is made by Plaid, and I forget who the maker of Plaid is. It's gone out of my head now, and you're all probably yelling at your screen who makes this. Anyhow, I do use it. Sometimes I use it when I want a really big, wide tear edge. Or else sometimes if I'm trying to tear really tough paper, I need this metal to tear against, because the plastic clear rulers definitely don't have the oomph that a metal ruler has. But the metal ruler has that to its advantage. But a clear ruler has the see-through ability to its advantage. Now this one needs a good cleaning. I'm getting there's glue on it. This blue one, it's not so bad, but I have a clear one that I prefer. Plus, the clear one is a little thicker. My dollar store only sells colored clear rulers in packs of 3, and they're pink, blue, and I think yellow. They don't have any clear ones. And I find it's worth my while to go to Staples. They're a little bit more expensive at Staples. Instead of it being $1.50 for 3 rulers, it's $2 and something for 1 ruler, but it's a much sturdier ruler, and it does the job better. The clear makes it easier when I'm going to tear along an edge and I want to be able to see. For example, if I want to use this tear edge, sometimes I want it to be precise. Perhaps I'm trying to go along the edge of an illustration, for example, and I want it to be precise. Say I want to be able to go right down the edge of, those words. Well, I've thank goodness that line is there so I can guess, but the metal gets in the way. The blue is a little bit better. I can see through it somewhat, but it's still, at least for my vision, it's still not as good. I still like this one. I love the way it turned out, because here's another reason why I love a homemade tear edge ruler. Maybe it's the anal retentive side of me, and I know I have that. I can see the repetition in the pattern of this and of this, and it kind of bugs me, because it kind of makes it obvious that it's a tear edge ruler and not a genuine tear. For example, here's a genuine tear, and there's just no denying that I just literally ripped the paper. When you see an edge like that, that's not a tear edge. But when you do one of these, it gives it a bit more of a genuine look. It's still kind of you pulling a fast one there, because it is still nice and straight, which is what we want. So you know what, we do what we have to do. So I need a new one because I have looked everywhere. I cannot find my clear tear edge ruler, and so I need to make a new one. So here we go. Let's just do it. Let's do it. Now, I live in Canada, which is on the metric system, but I am so old that they did not introduce the metric system until I think I was in, for the Canadians out there, until I was in, I think, grade 6. For the Americans out there, until I was in 6th grade. My friend Mary Beth used to laugh at me when I'd say, going into grade 9 this year. You're going into what? You're going into 9th grade. But I would dare say I don't think it's just an Ontario thing. I think we all say grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Anyhow, the metric system came into use in Canada after my brain had gotten used to inches and feet and yards and miles and pounds and cups and quarts and all that sort of thing. Although our Canadian gallons apparently are a different amount than an American gallon. But I'm wandering off topic as ever. So quite often I will still use the other side of my tear edge ruler. So in this case, I'm going to take my bites out of the metric side because I will not use the metric side as often as I will use this side. This is the side that's in my brain. It's just like people who learn a second language later in life. Usually your brain still thinks in your mother tongue. Usually, until you get good enough with your second language that your brain thinks in the two languages. And I do know a few people that their brain thinks in both languages, and that's how, especially here in Canada, we can get many people who speak Franglais because it's just a little mix of French and English all thrown together, and I certainly can do that. I'm fluent enough in sign language that my brain can go back and forth from years of communicating in sign language. I can literally think visually in my brain in sign language. And go back and forth, English and sign. And I'm always in trouble at my dentist because my mouth is full of equipment. And I start trying to talk to them with my hands. And they're worried that I'm in trouble. And my brain forgets that they don't know what I'm saying. They don't know. So, off topic as ever. Let's get to work. So you simply need some kind of strong pliers that come to a bit of a point. I don't know what size these are, but these are the kind you buy at the hardware store. They're not expensive. Trust me, to get yourself some decent tools at a hardware store, slowly start getting some you will use them. Make sure you've got a hammer in your craft room. Make sure you've got great big huge clamps. You will use those big strong clamps. There are tools, literal tools, hardware tools that you will use in your craft room that are stronger than the tiny little jewelry tools that you will get at Michael's. I can't even find my little jewelry tools right now, which is fine. With my junk journals, I seldom use my jewelry tools. I have some teeny tiny little version of these. Don't use those when you're making one of these. Get yourself a pair of these. If your Dollar Tree has some half decent ones, by all means get them. But if you've got an extra dollar or two, head to your hardware store and just buy a pair. You'll use them. So then you're just going to choose whichever side of your ruler you want. If you happen to be like me and are not bilingual in your measuring very well, I have occasion to use metric. And sometimes the measuring works better for me, especially if I'm trying to measure out how far apart to put my signature lines when I'm making my template. And I will switch back and forth between inches and millimeters for whatever fits the math better to get those signatures spaced properly. So you're going to have your pliers. I don't know if these are needle nose pliers. They don't come to an exact point. There's a little bit of a flat end on there. But you're just going to start biting off. Well, hopefully not the whole chip. It's still not going to be a problem. Come on, you. That's better. I'm glad Kirby's not up here for this because the little pieces can go. So I'm just biting off little bits here and there. Come on. See how it's thicker? You can do it with wooden rulers. I've seen some people do them with a file, and they'll with files. There we go. And you just start going down the line with them and biting off chips. So don't worry about that. When you've got a ruler this long, that's not going to get in my way. Come on. There we go. There we go. That's better. I'm going to hold it up to the camera in a second. There. Now we're on a roll. I need to get back into practice. That's what it was. So let me hold this up so you can see. Do you see where there are little chunks missing? I want a bit more bite out of there. And don't be afraid to take a bit more. But if you have to, keep your thumb handy to support the surrounding plastic. I have had times where the crack has gone down, hence my reasoning for making sure that I have a spare one in case I need to do a second one. And if not, I'm always happy to have another clear plastic ruler handy to use, because if you're like me, you're always looking for a ruler on your desk. So you just keep biting away at your ruler. Now I'm going to pause. I'm going to go the rest of the way down, and then we're going to tear some paper with it. So hang on. Okay, so I've gone down and along, and obviously it was camera nerves that was making it difficult for me because it actually went very quickly. Let me see if I can come down a little closer. So you can see that there are chunks, just little nips and bites here and there. There's a bigger one there. I don't mind that. Again, you'll get a more natural look. And here's what I mean. Right here. You'll be very careful where you choose to do this. Although this isn't glass, it's very sharp, and I'm quite sure it would be very dangerous for a pet or a human to swallow. Those are sharp little shards along there, and this little chunk that I cracked off right off the bat, and you probably all thought, oh well, there she goes, that's a dud. Oh no, the ruler's quite fine to use. Now let me clarify, and I should have clarified this right off the bat. Here, I'm going to sweep this and put it safely away. Let me clarify right off the, I should have clarified right off the bat, sorry. I didn't think of this, and it's been so many years since I created my first homemade tear edge ruler that I cannot recall the first person I saw do it. But it's pretty common knowledge now, I think. But in case anyone is new here, or anyone hasn't had the courage to just take a chance, watch for them at your dollar store. If your dollar store has clear ones, it's just what I prefer, especially if it's a little bit thicker than Dollarama. This'll do, and I certainly like it and use it all the time. This one is a little tougher, and the one that I can't find was good as well. But let me find some darker paper so you can see. Okay, I changed my background to white. This is just Amazon packing paper, but you can see here perhaps a little better. I'm going to back up now. And a bit more. There we go. And just tear. I find if I pull it towards the ruler and move this hand along, support your ruler as you go. And then here's the trick I find. Slide your ruler back over against that tear, and you'll get a nice torn edge there. That's more of a natural torn edge as opposed to if let me show you with this one. Why this one, although I use it and for different reasons, this one I don't like because I can't see through it, and I don't like because I can see repetition in this side, whereas this side looks like I tore it by hand when actually I had a little help from this. So there you go. That, hopefully that, if you haven't made your own Terra Edge ruler before, and you don't want to go out and spend whatever, I got this one on Virage sale. I was lucky and spotted this on Virage sale. I think my daughter spotted it actually on Virage sale for me. And so they all have their advantages and disadvantages, but more often than not, this one's my favorite one to go to when I want a nice natural looking torn edge. This is the one, and it's easy to make, and you can still use the other side, especially if you are an inches and feet kind of artist. Then do it that side, and if not, switch it over and leave your metric side available. Or get yourself a few and leave one alone. So there we go. That visit number 2. We got something done, and whoever was the very, very first person in crafting history to decide to make their own torn edge ruler, my hat's off to you. I thank you. And if you're the one, comment down below and say, hey, that was me. I'm the one. I thought of it. And I'm sure we'll all toast you tonight at happy hour because it's a great idea. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. If you're still here this long, please don't forget to hit the like button down below. And if you haven't subscribed, I sure hope you will. That would be great. Anyhow, take care. We'll talk soon. Bye.